Hey guys, got a new deck tech for you. This deck is using the white Dragon Shield matte sleeves. Okay. Riku of 2 reflections. 2 of any. 1 blue, 1 red, 1 green. For a total of 5 converted. Human Wizard. Whenever you cast a spell, pay a blue or red, copy that spell. Or whenever another non-token creature enters, pay a green or blue and put a token that's a copy of that creature. And Riku is a 2/2. So, this deck is actually pretty built similar to decks that people have made with it. So, it's Spellslinger, Wizard Tribal, some elements of Chaos, and overall it's just copying, duplicating spells. Let's start off with 9 islands. Total land base is 39. Was 7 mountains and 8 forests. Utilities: Breeding Bowl, dual land, common tower, crumbling visage is in here. Enters tapped, but it enters. You can choose any color you want. And add it to your mana pool, and then later it is a colorless mana. Which the land that needs colorless mana will be seen shortly. Detection Tower to help creatures become on-hex-proofed. Which so help cast spells to flash, like sorceries. Wilds, 3 color. Turf, Boiler Works, Memorial to Unity, basically to help find a creature. Here's the land I was talking about I have in the deck. Mirror Pearl is basically a miniature Riku ability. Sacrifice it, copy target spell, sacrifice it, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of a creature you control. So anyway, it's a miniature Riku. Bad tower, just to have no hand size. Growth Chamber, Temple, Wooded Foothills for mana search, land search. Creatures. Like I said, this is more Wizard Tribal. It is wizards because wizards are great for spell slinging. And I have a total of 21 creatures. Augur of Bolas to start us off. Look at the top 3 cards over the library. You may reveal an instant sorcery. Put that in your hand, rest on the bottom. Pyromancer, dismissive. Pyromancer, card draw. Spells cost 1 less to cast. Card draw, copy spell. Rattleclaw Mystic. Jumbled. Sorry about that. Just to add mana. For more mana. Wizards get +1/+1 every time I play a spell. It's a flying haste. Pretty good. Dualcaster Mage. Now, I would love to have Snapcaster Mage in this deck. However, that is like above expensive to buy. So I'm going to do without it. And Dualcaster Mage is pretty good too. It does the same thing, actually. In this deck, you're going to see 3 instances of Concedes. because of cards in the deck. Fate Spinner is the first one, because I think players can't choose the same mode again. I used the green-blue ability to create a token creature of that creature entering, because I had a lot of extra mana out. So Fate Spinner is the ultimate control. Players choose draw step, main phase, combat phase, skip those instances that turn on every opponent's upkeeps. So that game I had 3 or 4 of these because I had a lot of mana and I just made multiple copies of it. And like I said, I believe it works that they can't choose the same one. So on their turn, they either chose 3 to skip, and it is just gross. So yeah, players conceded that game. Exile a spell from graveyard, sacrifice to copy that spell. Second spell you cast, draw a card. Card draw. Master Biomancer enters with a number of additional counters on it to its power. Each other creature you control enters that way. Just to help my wizards get big, because there's a lot of miniature power. Copy and spell. Other wizards get +1/+1. Stun double, copy any creature on the battlefield. Forgot about this. I think I have a second one too. Transforming Docent of Perfection. Whenever you cast a spell, put a 1/1 blue wizard. When you have 3 or more wizards, transform. Wizards you control get +2/+1 and have flying. And this big front ability stays the same for the back ability. So it's just wizard support. Sorry about this, guys. I'm gonna put it back in its sleeve real quick. There we go. Okay, moving on. Another non-wizard, but the ability at the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top card. If it's a spell, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. That's just too good to mess up. Malik, again, another reveal card, cast it. You can cast it on this one. Div Mizzet, the Firemind, card draw. When you draw a card, deals 1 damage. Mimic is in here because it copies as any creature, just to help me get better creatures. And it's not a legendary, so I could, hopefully if I have enough mana, create 2 of these and get people's big creatures. Dragon Mage deals combat damage. Everyone discards their hand, draws cards. That's good for me to find answers. Dragon Lord is in here again. Same reason as Dragon Mage, to find an... Well, not the same thing as Dragon Mage. I don't know why I'm saying that. Flying Trample. Enters, deals 5 damage, so it's removal for Planeswalkers and creatures. But it's also a presence in the air, because it is an 8/8. That's what I was thinking of with Dragon Mage. It is a presence in the air, because it is a 5/5 flyer. Dragon Lord is an 8/8 flyer, and I usually have ways to fight against flying that way. That sums up creatures. Planeswalkers, I have 2. Here is the second instance of a concede for a winning game. Kiora, Crash and Rave. The +1 ability, I usually choose my opponent's commanders with it, so they can, like, if they have a Voltron build, it's hard to get damage through. But one game, players allowed me to get her to the ultimate form, to get the emblem, with, like, actually 6 loyalty counters extra too. So pretty good, because I just kept getting enough 9/9s on the field. Everyone, the last 2 players were just like, concede. So Jaya for 3 red to cast spells, discard, draw cards. Emblem, you may cast spells from the graveyard. If you do, exile it. So that's good for getting cards back into my library, or not library, but getting cards back into casting them. Like this, I said in the beginning, this deck is great on copying spells. So here's one instance. Dual casting enchantments. I have 5. Dual casting, copy a spell, choose new targets. Propaganda. I don't know why I said that twice, I just lost track. Propaganda, prevent from attacking. Bear Umbra. Good for equipping a creature when it attacks. Untap lands. That way I can cast more spells. And total armor. If that creature dies, instead of the creature dying, you just remove this enchantment from the creature instead. Precognition field is great for looking at the top of your library. Again, if you have a spell, you can cast it and 3 to exile it if you don't want to use that card next turn. And Wilderness Reclamation again allows me to untap lands, so I just keep casting spells more and more. 6 artifacts are next. Elixir of Immortality. Pay 2, you gain 5 life. Shuffle your graveyard into your library. Good to get your spells back into your library. Soul Ring, Greaves, Signet, Crystal Ball to Scry. Primal Amulet. Spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a spell, put a charge counter. 4 or more, transform, add 1 mana of any color. When that is spent to cast a spell, copy that spell, choose new targets. So again, just copying spells. Spells copying. That's why he's the reflection of 2 reflections. That made no sense, but okay. That's why he is the of 2 reflections, because he's always copying, he's duplicating spells. Now, this is the important part, and the chaos part is some spells. It's a minor chaos. But I have a total of 26. Again, this is a spell slinging deck. Icy Blast is a control element to tap creatures when I have spells that allow me to gain control of creatures, so if I have a great board state, this helps me get damage through to win the game. Tutor. Explanatory, find spells, preordained, scry 2, draw a card, counter spell, card here. With that, another counter spell. Explore to help get land and put land on more card draw and then more land. Farseek to help find land. Flood to help spells getting back into my hand. Hollow Breach is a removal. Cultivate is land search. Now, pretty much every game I have ever played with this deck, I have always got this in my hand and had always played it. It's just fun to play. Manifold, Insights, reveal the top 10 cards in the library. Next opponent in turn order chooses a different non-land card. Put the chosen cards into your hand. It is just fun because it's a little chaos element because opponents choose what get put into your hand, and you can move on from there. Copy spell, new targets. Next instance of a concede for this deck, Lull Reversal. Now this game is pretty specific on what happened. Basically, exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a permanent type. Which permanent types is like shifting loyalties here. Artifact, creature, enchantment, land. So, with Lull Reversal, or it was with shifting loyalties, either way you look at it, someone had Obsidian, I can't pronounce it, so the angel that allows all permanents to have indestructible, someone had that out in one of my games, but I Lull Reversaled and had a lot of extra mana to basically gain control of that, and I had a good enough board state to. It was the last 2 players in the game, and they just conceded because they couldn't see any way out of it. A charm with a choose one, multiple options to do here. Void Slime counters a spell, ability, or triggered ability. It's great for preventing combos. Cindy is real again. If I need to do something, I have a choice with this spell. Mythic Retrieval. Get spells from my graveyard into my hand. And it has flashback. Pretty good. Plasma Capture. Counter target spell adds a lot of mana equal to that spell's cost. And it's just great for having that mana. Here's another Chaos. Untap all creatures. And all creatures target opponent. You and that opponent can control all creatures. The other controls until end of turn. So it's like gain control of those creatures, attack other players with them, what have you. Unexpected results is fun to copy as well, like Manifold Insights. Sometimes I could copy it 2 or 3 times. Move the top card, non-land card, cast it without its mana cost. Devastation Tide to have a miracle, basically, like the card says. When things are going too bad and you need to have those cards returned to those opponent's hands. Hunter's Powers to target a creature I have to hopefully be the winning game. Urban Evolution, draw cards and play additional land. No clue. Genesis Storm. When you cast this spell, copy it for every time you played your commander. It's like unexpected results because you can reveal cards, put them onto the battlefield. Mob Rule. Here is another Chaos themed card. And lastly, the Shifting Loyalties. So, a lot of spell casting, a lot going on in this deck, but it is super fun. I have always enjoyed playing this deck. So if you like this deck tech, like the video, comment, and subscribe for more deck techs.